Last Sunday, we went ahead and dropped our wide receiver trade targets. Now I am turning my attention to the running back position, and let's just dive right in. We'll start off at the top here. It's going to be James Conner in Arizona. Now, currently, he's being drafted as the running back 39, and at 27 years old, this is obviously a win-now trade target. Any running back, really, is a win-now trade target. You shouldn't be giving up severe draft capital or anything of note if you're not ready to compete right now, because we know how short the shelf life is. When you're looking at James Conner, he really does feel like a one-year rental, and that's fine. I don't think that's the end of the world, right? With a new coaching staff coming in and a team that has massive holes basically everywhere on the roster, it feels unlikely that any of their 4 day 1 and 2 picks are going to be spent at running back. They didn't get any of the big names at running back in free agency either, so right now it looks as if James Conner is set to be the lead back yet again. Now, he's coming off of back-to-back top 10 points per game seasons, but again, we have to say points per game because he's going to get hurt. It's basically a guarantee that James Conner will miss time, but I don't particularly care because even in this new coaching staff, with Keontae Ingram and Corey Clement behind him and maybe, a day 3 rookie coming in, Conner is going to lead the backfield. And we saw what he could do even without Kyler when he went down. So James Conner is, to me at least, a top 20 running back minimum in 2023. And when you look at what it costs to acquire him, he has recently been traded for Tim Patrick. James Conner for Tim Patrick makes no sense. Maybe you're trying to get younger and shipping off a veteran running back, but getting Tim Patrick is useless. He's a bench wide receiver who might be the wide receiver 2 if Judy or Sutton gets moved. Give me James Conner every time. We also here have Khalil Shakir and a 2024 second for James Conner. Probably a win now to a rebuild type of move. That's fine. But Khalil Shakir is nothing as far as I am concerned, right? He's a dart throw slot wide receiver. There's not a lot of value there. The big piece is going to be that 2024 second. But again, if you're trying to win, right, a true win now window, James Conner for a future second is an easy pick, right? Assuming it's your pick, that's a no-brainer. Next up, we're going to go a little bit further down ADP, and we're going to take a look at Alexander Mattison, currently the RB41 in DLF's March ADP. This is post-free agency. At 24 years old, right, he signs a 2-year contract. He comes back to Minnesota. At first glance, crap, he's not going to get that workhorse role that people were hoping that was never really on the table, I don't think. If you are still reading the news and catching up on everything the Vikings are doing, Dalvin Cook is being talked about as a trade target basically everywhere, right? The common one you see is putting him with his brother in Buffalo or just shipping him out to another team that can take on cap space and really just free up this team to get a little more flexible to help fill out their defense. If Dalvin Cook is getting moved, it's probably because Alexander Mattison now is going to be the lead back. He comes at a much cheaper price tag, and the production, as far as fantasy is concerned, has been fantastic. You're looking at a guy, right? He's played 6 games, over 50% of snaps. He has scored or averaged 22.1 points per game in those 6 starts. He's gone over 120 yards in 5 of those 6 games. So if it comes down to it, Alexander Mattison sees a massive boost in value with Dalvin Cook getting traded, and then has the talent, the skill, probably the workload to back it up, and we'll probably see a massive spike in ADP. You're playing probability, right? You're playing the odds that, yes, Dalvin Cook is getting moved. But even if he doesn't, Alexander Mattison and the price he's coming at right now, I'm fine buying him even as a handcuff, knowing should Dalvin Cook go down, if he gets hurt, you probably have a top 6 or 7 running back, right, in that backfield, in that offense. But in terms of trades, let's look back at the trade finder. Alexander Mattison and the 110 for Miles Sanders. Absolutely. First of all, I'm taking the 110 for Miles Sanders anyways. And then you look at Alexander Mattison, who, right, Dalvin Cook gets moved, can't outproduce Sanders this season. That is an easy trade. Again, we understand the downside is Mattison just remains a handcuff. That's fine. I'm still going to take what I'll consider probably the best handcuff in football right now, along with a first rounder for a running back that I think is, a mid-level RB2. Post free agency, right? Alexander Mattison for Cole Kmet. I like Cole Kmet. I'm a Bears fan. I think he's a good tight end. For fantasy, I don't care. Not at this point, right? Robert Tonyan came in. He could be a red zone threat. Cole Kmet is now behind DJ Moore, Mooney, Claypool. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen for Cole Kmet, at least this season. Give me Alexander Mattison. And to close us out, it's just a massive name. It's going to be JT. And yeah, he's being drafted as the RB2. And He's coming off of a terrible season. I don't care. I'm going to buy back in on Jonathan Taylor, right? You're looking at a guy who now has a new quarterback coming in, hopefully. You have a new head coach in Shane Steichen. You're looking at a guy that was the RB2 in points per game 2 years ago. The reason you should still be in on Jonathan Taylor is he's very, very good at football, right? You can kind of throw this year away. Not only was Matt Ryan much, much worse than anybody anticipated, the offensive line was down. Frank Reich got fired. Jeff Saturday coached a little bit. And then on top of it all, JT missed time with 3 separate injuries. It was just a disaster year. But this is a guy who was the RB1 a year ago and really is just dropped because Bijan Robinson has come in. He's still a very elite running back, and he's still in his prime. So you look at the price. We're going to look at Superflex trades here. So 110 and a random 2024 first. Give me JT assuming you're trying to win, right? If you're going to a rebuild, you can probably get more. I think that's a low ball offer. At the 110, you're drafting a guy that most likely ends up being like a career RB2, which is fine. Or you're getting a wide receiver like Zay Flowers or Josh Downs or whoever else. So that's a fine pick. And then the random 2024 first can be literally anything. Who knows? Give me the known commodity in JT over both of those picks there. Next up, and this is where I think is probably a fair price, Drake London and a 2024 first. If you watched our wide receiver trade target video, I love Drake London. I am a huge Drake London fan. But if I am competing, trying to win a title, you're probably better served having Jonathan Taylor here. It sucks, and it's probably poor roster construction giving up a young elite wide receiver, at least in my eyes. But if you're trying to win and you are a running back away, this is what it's going to cost. So you just have to balance the cost to acquire with your roster and make sure you're actually a running back away from winning a title. And the last one here, it's simple. It's not complex. It is just the 103. To me, this is roster dependent, right? Again, if you are win now, that's the only time you should be trading for running backs. But if you're win now, taking him over Bryce Young or CJ Stroud or Anthony Richardson, if he's your guy there, makes sense if you're trying to win this season or next season. Relying on rookie quarterbacks is usually a bad bet. There's going to be a larger learning curve because they have to learn to become like NFL caliber quarterbacks. If you're trying to win, JT is going to do a lot more than a rookie quarterback will do for your roster. All right, guys, that is all I have for you. Again, if you like what we're doing, subscribe to the channel. If you have questions, comments, drop them below. Also, if you want more videos like this, more just content from DLF, check out the YouTube memberships, right? $7 a month for additional videos and extra content, all kinds of stuff. So check that out, guys. As always, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.